Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how to take one of these on one of these. Alright guys, so I have literally filmed this video 3 times, and every time I see that it turns into like a almost 30-minute video. So for the sake of your viewing pleasure, I'm going to be breaking this video up into 2 parts. The first part will give you a good kind of recap and an overview of how to fly with your guns, what I recommend doing. And then the second part is going to be an actual in-depth look into my journey. So I'm going to take you with me into the airport, into the firearm make safe area, and just show you firsthand kind of what the process looks like. So yeah, please enjoy part 1. Part 2 will be coming out shortly. Flying with a gun on an aeroplane in South Africa is a question that we get quite a lot, and I think it's a topic that is shrouded in a bit of mystery, and hopefully we're going to demystify that for you today. And at the end of the video, I'm going to share with you a couple of tips that I wish I had have known before I had a look at this whole thing myself. Before I get into the how-to, let's have a look at the 4 different airlines that, or the 4 main airlines that fly guns in South Africa. And they are going to be Lift, SAA, Fly Safair, and Airlink. Now, unfortunately, SAA, Fly Safair, and Airlink all have quite hostile policies when it comes to flying with guns. So for these reasons, I'm going to recommend that you fly with Lift. I've done my due diligence. I've had a look at the different websites. I'll show you a bit of that later in the video. But yeah, Lift is definitely the friendliest airline as of now. Things might change, but as of recording this video, yeah, Lift is the friendliest. So if you work for Lift and you're in management, feel free to reach out. This is your opportunity to bless me with a sponsorship deal. I'm just joking. So with Lift, just a couple of key points to keep in mind. You're going to need 2 lockable boxes, one for your gun, one for your ammo. If it's a handgun, like a little normal pistol Glock box would work. If it is a rifle, it's going to have to be a hard lockable case. You're going to also need to reach out to Lift at least 48 hours before you check in your gun, just to make sure that they have all of the necessary information. I'll also show you a little bit later in the video what information they require from you. On the day of your flight, they require you to check in at least 90 minutes before the time. I'm going to be honest with you, I have checked in a little closer to 60 minutes and I've had no problems. Lift also has a limitation of 2 guns per person, so that's just something to also keep in mind. Alright, so the actual process of flying with a gun. Step number 1 is going to be booking your ticket as per usual. Once you've booked your ticket, you'll need to send an email to support@lift.co.za, just indicating that you would like to fly with a firearm. They will then send you a list of requirements. I will put a screenshot of that here. Once you have sent your reply to that email with all of your documents, they will send you an invoice. Their cost is 800 Rand one way, so 800 Rand up, 800 Rand down. In my personal opinion, that is well worth having your gun there. I would happily pay that money if it means having my gun with me when I travel. Lift recommends that you arrive about 90 minutes before your flight. You check in as per usual. Unfortunately, if you are flying guns, you cannot do a early check-in. You have to physically rock up, go to the counter. There's usually such short lines. I've had very, very pleasant experiences with them. And you present your 2 lockable boxes to the person doing the booking. They do say that they want to weigh the guns. However, at this point in time, if you're like me, your gun is going to be in your holster. It can be in your holster, and I recommend that you arrive to the airport, especially if you're carrying a handgun, obviously, with your gun in your holster, because until you go to the other side of airport security, it's still a public space, and there have been shootings in airports. But they do require you to weigh the box. Just put your 2 empty boxes down. It's just a tick box thing for them. They will then give you 2 additional stickers. which you will then take to the firearm counter, which is going to be the next step. So once you've done your standard book-in, you will take your 2 lockable boxes to the firearm counter. So things that you'll need over there is obviously going to be your firearm license, your 2 lockable boxes. You will sign the guns over to Eagle Eye Security, who are currently managing that step of the process. And just a side note, they do offer rental boxes for 200 Rand per box, so that will be an additional 400 Rand one way. This, I don't know if it's an official service, but certainly don't rely on this. Rather take your own boxes. You do not want to get to the airport, you've planned your whole trip, you've invested money, and only to be told, no, sorry, we actually don't have any boxes available. Big problems. So take your own boxes. Another thing I recommend doing is taking actual locks. The policy does say take locks. I have had my boxes cable tied before, but I think that was maybe just cutting corners. So take actual locks. So once you have signed your guns over to Eagle Eye, you go through airport security, get on the plane, fly as per usual. You land on the other side, you get your main baggage. You then proceed to the firearm counter on the other side, wherever you're flying to. If it's OR Tambo, you go to the OR Tambo firearm office. You book your guns out there, you holster them, you get yourself sorted, because once again, the second that you walk out of those doors, you're now on the menu again, and you might just need your gun. So yeah, that's not obviously with a handgun. With a rifle, shotgun, or long gun, anything that needs a case, obviously the rules are different for that. You keep your weapon cased. So just really quickly before we continue, if you haven't already, please take 2 seconds to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. It helps grow the channel. Obviously we're a gun channel, so we often get neglected by the algorithm and the powers that be, so by doing that you'll really be helping us. Okay, so now that we've had a look at the ins and outs of flying with the gun in South Africa, here is just a couple of tips that I've picked up over the process, which can I think help you along the way. The first one is going to be to book as early as possible. So if you know that you're flying in a week, don't wait until a day before the time to book your ticket and get your gun booked in. Do it as soon as possible. So the second that you make the decision, confirm, book your ticket, send them an email, get your gun invoice paid. Even though you might be able to rent a box and they might be able to cable tie it, I highly, highly recommend taking your own lockable boxes and taking actual locks with you. Another tip, technically you are allowed to fly with your holster on you because it's just a piece of metal and plastic. However, a lot of times that I've flown with guns, I've had people try and give me hassles, either try to block me or try to take holsters off of me. I've been taken through to a secondary search area because I had a holster on me, had to get a supervisor in. We had to, I had to explain exactly what a holster is. It's a fashion accessory, if anything. Anyway, it's just unnecessary. So if you can fit your holster in your ammunition box, maybe do that. But yeah, just realize that you might get hassled for that, and you'll have to call a supervisor, and it's just going to take unnecessary time. All right, another big one is check your pockets, check your bags, make sure that you don't have any loose ammo on you, any knives, sharp objects, any kind of weaponry that you do carry from, on your person on a day-to-day basis. I've got several knives, several things, several pockets, usually some extra magazines and whatnot. Just take that extra 30 seconds to just pat yourself down, make sure that you don't have anything on you, because that is going to be an awkward one to explain to airport security while you're trying to essentially smuggle ammunition or weapons onto a plane. And lastly, to make this whole process go so much smoother, just be nice. When you're dealing with people, even if they ask you maybe silly questions, instead of cupping a haragat attitude, instead of telling them how silly they are, just be nice. Explain things nicely, and you'll notice how everything just goes way smoother. Obviously, if you do hit a brick wall, then there is a time and a place to call managers and supervisors. But even when you're dealing with them, the nicer you are, typically, not always, but typically, things do tend to go smoother for you. All right, guys, and that is flying with a gun in South Africa. So if you haven't already liked, subscribed, and hit that notification button, please do so now. Once again, it really helps the channel, especially because we're a gun channel. But yeah, stay safe, carry your guns, and we'll see you in the next video.